actually had the property for 7 years, so I rented out the property for 4 years before you. I found that a lot of my time was taken up with tenants' calls, and they were very simple issues, but it just took time out of my day, and I would also have to commute into London to fix any minor issues, and it was too much hassle. The main difference between renting to tenants is that they call you any time of the day, and when I'm busy at work I can't always take the calls. So for me it's more beneficial to have somebody who doesn't call me, and if they do need to call, it's very rare, and it will be in the evening when I'm at home. So that's the main benefit. The reason I actually rented through you was a recommendation through my sister, who rented her flat through you. So it worked really well for me because I already knew that I was going to be dealing with someone professional and who would look after my property. So that worked really well for me. I hardly ever hear from you. I've been renting my property for 3 years now, and I've had very few calls, and it's been really hassle-free for me. Letting agents, they just let the property for you, and then after that you have to deal with the tenants and any problems. They can actually manage the property for you, but what I find is the tenants aren't very happy with the service, because when they've got a complaint it gets ignored. So I don't really like to provide a bad service to tenants, so that's why I'm reluctant to give it to a letting agent. I would say that having no void period is a big benefit, because when you have a mortgage coming out on a certain date, it's good to know that you've got somebody there who's willing to take on the property for a number of years, and you don't have that void period. That is a good benefit. And the reason I like actually renting the property through you is because with tenants, when you have a changeover, it's generally every year, because I find that tenants don't stay for more than a year. And then next time around you're always worried that the tenant might not pay the rent. If they lose their job, there's always the risk that they might stop paying the rent. And through you I know that you will look after it, and you'll make sure that my rent's paid on time, whether or not you've actually let it out yourself. Yes, I'm very happy that I let my flat through you, and I hope that you will keep my flat for many more years, because it's been really convenient for me, and it's good that I don't hear from you very often, and the rent's always been paid on time every month for the last 3 years. Yeah, I've actually rented to a young lady once, and because she had lived with her parents before, she didn't really know how to do anything, so there were many calls just for very, very simple things. So renting through you, obviously I don't have those calls anymore, and it's so much easier. You know, the boiler, questions on the boiler or the heating, I don't get any of those calls, so it's really helpful. I did use a letting agent, but I didn't get them to manage the property, because from past experience they don't actually manage it properly, and the tenants are not happy with the service. So I did actually manage the property myself, and I got many calls from the tenants with very minor things, and it was taking a lot of time out of my working day, so it wasn't convenient for me to manage it myself. And also there was a distance involved, because I don't live near the property. I actually decided to go with your company because you do take care of everything, so I didn't have to make the journey down to London to look after the flat anymore. If there was any maintenance issues, you would actually go to the flat rather than me having to go down to the flat, so that was another thing that was convenient for me. I also like the fact that when I have an issue with maintenance, you go to the property on my behalf, so I don't have to wait for deliveries or gas engineers when I need a gas safety certificate. So that really frees up a lot of my time, and I don't have to spend my day off making a trip to my flat to sort out minor issues. The big thing for me is that it's a hassle-free investment, so I don't have to deal with any issues, and I know my rent will be paid on time, and the big pull for me was that it's hassle-free. I would definitely recommend you to other landlords, because it's hassle-free, you get the rent paid on time, I don't have to make any special trips to the flat for small maintenance issues, and I hardly ever hear from you, which is a good thing, no offence. So it works really well for me, and I would definitely recommend you.